Hi, welcome to the channel. Today we're back on the charity Mk1 Audi TT. We're going to sort some of the little problems on it today, give it a pre-MOT inspection so we can get it ready, booked in for MOT, and then hopefully we can sell it and raise funds for charity. So let's get cracking. Okay, there's not too many jobs that need doing on this. The most obvious one that I found already is the driver's side top mount. That is completely shot, makes an awful clunky noise when you're going along and when you turn the steering lock to lock. So we need to sort that. Also another little job to do, polish up the headlights. That side's not too bad, but if you come across to the passenger side, you can see that it needs a good polish. Look at the state of that. Right, let's get this thing jacked up, get the wheel off, then we can remove the front suspension strut and tackle that top mount. Okay, right, let's get the front wheel off, get it jacked up, all secured on axle stands, ready to get that front strut off. There we go. Right, there's the wheel off, everything's jacked up and supported underneath. Now we can take a good old closer inspection of everything else while we're here. The steering rack gate is fine. The bushes look all right there. No splits in that one. No splits in the drive shaft boot. So what about this side? Drop link feels all good. Again, no splits, no perishing in the rubbers, which is ideal. And the same at the bottom. The bottom looks all good as well. Okay, right, it appears it's not the top mount. We have a broken coil spring. There we go, look at that one there. That's what all the noise is. So we're gonna have to take the top mount off anyway. So we need a new spring this side. Right, after a few choice words, a couple of broken Allen keys, and a split dust cover, finally I've got it off. See, I nicked that one unfortunately, so I'm gonna have to replace that. But there it is, one strut off, and there we go, you can quite clearly see the brake there. It doesn't look like it was that old either. Looks like it's fairly recent because it hasn't rusted yet. So we need a new spring before we can then go and put all that together and the top mount. Right, I've got the lower front ball joint off, where unfortunately I nicked the dust cover, so we've got another one of those on order. And now it's just the time to get the old broken coil spring off and fit the new one. I've got my spring compressors ready to go, but having a quick look at it, I don't think I'm going to need them, because look at that, that's loose and it's coming off, and I don't need to compress it because obviously it's sheared off one of its coils. So I'll put the camera down. I think I was just going to be able to undo this by hand. All right, let's give it a go by hand. I can quite clearly see that that top nut is turning on its own. There we go. Look at that. That's the easiest I've ever done one of these. Oh, you can see how cold it is in my workshop. Right, stay out to one side. Oh yeah, look at that. That needed doing anyway. It's absolutely shot. Okay, so that's fine. Put that to one side. God, look at the state of that. That's been like that for some time. I might have to get one of those if that hasn't come with a kit. All right, let's pull off the broken spring. Look at that, completely sheared off. Right, before I go and fit the brand new spring to the strut, I've got to go and buy another part, because as you can see, the top cup here is absolutely shot. And unfortunately, that doesn't come with the kit that I purchased. I only got the top mount and the bearing. So we can't rebuild the strut until we purchase one of those. So I need to get on that now. Right, well, the parts are finally turned up, and it's just a simple case now of rebuilding that front suspension leg, bolting everything up, and then I can go and check all the other corners, make sure we haven't got any other issues, ready for the MOT. I'm going to do this off camera because no one wants to see this. It's boring as hell. Okay, there we have it. As if by magic, everything is in and bolted up nice and tight. After a lot of swearing, a lot of cursing, and a few grazed knuckles, we've got the strut in and the brand new spring and top mount. Okay, it's the driver's side complete. We just need to check the other three corners, make sure everything's all right under there, and then we're almost ready to put this in for MOT. Right, moving on to the passenger side. Had a good old check here. All the brake hoses are fine. Gator on the drive shafts are both fine, not split and not insecure. All the dust covers are all intact, no splits. Same with the ball joints. I think this side's pretty good. I was just going to give it a very quick wax oil. Spring's all good as well, which means we don't have to do this side. Fantastic. Right, moving on to the passenger rear. It looks fairly good from first impressions. Someone's obviously painted the subframe in the past. You can see the red oxide paint there, and the rest of it's been wax oiled. Coil spring's all good, no fractures, no cracks. The mounting points are also corrosion free, which is a good sign. All the dust covers, the anti-roll bar dust covers are all good. The boots on the drive shaft, no splits in those, and they're secure. A couple of these bushes on the control arms are a little bit perished, but we might get away with that. Let's hope so. Other than that, it looks fairly good. Also that, hang on, let's get the camera down lower. You can see that exhaust mount is barely hanging on, so we need a new one of those because that hasn't got much life left in it at all. There we go, exhaust rubber off and exhaust rubber on. The main thing we're going to have to replace on this is the brake pipe. As they all do on these, a common fault. You can see there the corrosion. See the white there where it's oxidised. The coverings come off. Both sides are going to be like that. I'm going to check the oil anyway, but pretty much guarantee that's going to be the same. They're not very expensive, just a little bit tricky and awkward to do. So we'll get those done as well. Something else we've got to go and order. Okay, right, moving on to the final corner, the driver's rear. Everything looks all right on this side, very much like the other side, to be fair. Coil spring's all good, no fractures. The top mount, the bottom mount for the spring is good, no corrosion. Drive shaft, again, the boots are secure, no splits. Same with the anti-roll bar bushes, they're all good. The control arms, just like the other side. If I scroll down here, you can see they are a little bit perished. The rubbers probably need doing anyway, but we'll see if we get away with that on the MOT. But we have seen, just like the other side, as predicted, the brake pipe does need doing, because here you can see that it started to corrode there. Also, it's insecure. If you look under here, there we go, just get the camera on it without all the shadows. That's not easy to do. Hang on, I'm going to readjust. There we go, that's better. There we go, so you can see that that clip in there is broken, so that will be a fail because the brake line is insecure. Also, if I go further under, you can see, hang on, again, readjust. There we go, that's a better angle. And as you can see on the brake line here, if I get the camera close enough, you can see there. So that definitely needs replacing, but we thought it might do anyway. Right, let's crack on and get those parts ordered, and then we can get them fitted. Okay, well, the brake lines have arrived. Just a simple case of taking off the old ones, installing the new ones, and then bleeding the entire system. Right, let's get this old brake line off, install the new one, and bleed the system on this side. Right, the first job is to carefully unclip it without breaking these clips. That one's out nicely. That one's already out. There we go. Right, now we just undo the brake line at the front with the 11mm, or at least get it loose so we're ready for the taking it off at the carpet. Excellent, that's nice and loose. Right, let's do the caliper end, which is 13. You can't see that because the camera's too low. Right, let's go and take this off. Right, there's the old brake pipe taken off. As you can see, it definitely needed replacing. Let's look at the state of that. Right, just time to fit the new one. Okay, that's the new brake pipe and hose all in. Just a case of bleeding this side before moving on to the next one. All right, that's that side bled. I thought it was all going well, but it turns out we've got an issue. On tightening the bleed nipple, it's gone and stripped all the threads inside the caliper. It was a bit tight to undo, but look at it now. You can literally pull it in and out. It doesn't, finger tight, it doesn't do anything. So we've had to go and buy another caliper. I've gone and bought two, because if this side's like it, you can guarantee the other side's going to be like it as well. They arrived in a day, which is absolutely amazing service. So there we go. So we'll crack on, fit those, bleed this one again, and then move on to the other one. Right, finally, this side's finished. Brand new caliper on, new brake hose and brake pipe on. Everything's been bled. This side's all good. Time to move on to the final side and then put the wheels back on. Right, time to tackle the final side. Get this brake line off, put the new hose on, and attach a new caliper. Okay, right, that's the final side done. The brake pipe's on, the caliper's on, and the complete system's been bled. Just a case of putting the wheel back on, checking the brake reservoir, topping it up, before we move on for a quick check of all the electrics. Right, time to top up the brake reservoir. I'm just going to put the camera down and go and get my fluid and my funnel. Right, let's top this up. Doesn't need a great deal, I can still see the level. Just get it up to maximum. There we go. Try not to drip it on the bodywork. Stick the cap back in. And then we're all good to check the electrics. And then we're almost there. Okay, right, let's go and check all the front lights, make sure they're all working. Right, one little job to do on the front. I've got the side light bulb out on the passenger side. See, the driver's side's working fine. You come across to see the passenger side and there's nothing. So we'll get that done, we'll get that replaced now before moving on to the rear. Everything else was fine on the front. Right, so there's the culprit. You can quite clearly see it's burnt out. Unfortunately, I haven't got anything that matches it in my spare box of bulbs, so I'm gonna have to go and get one. But in the meantime, I'll crack on, check the rear, see if there's any bulbs dead there, and then go from there. Right, let's go and check out the rears. Another little job to do is, I know it's not MOTable, it just detracts from the overall look of the car. We've got a little dent at the back there. So we're going to have a go at removing that with a PDR system. Okay, right, let's have a go at this little dent. I've got all my PDR kit, and we've got the light there. I've got my slide hammer down here, there we go, and a hot air gun. Hot air gun? Hot glue gun, all ready to go. I think all in, this kit costs less than 30 quid, so it's worth a little punt, especially for little dents like this. Right, let's give it a crack. Right, you can quite clearly see the dent there. Let's put the light here and you'll be able to see it. There we go, look at that. This doesn't need a lot of pulling out, just a little bit. Right, let's have a go. Right, let's go for that one there. Stick a bit of hot glue on it. Stick it right over the dent. Just like so. Make sure that's secure before I put the slide hammer on it. Yes, it is. Right, now we just pull it up. Be very careful. Wow, that was rubbish, wasn't it? Okay, take two. Obviously not enough glue on it. Beautiful. Let's get down there. Ouch. I've got my finger. It's hot. Right, let's try again. Better. Don't think it's done anything. Oh well, we're going to persevere with it and see if we can get it out. But I'll do that off camera. Right, I had another go at doing that dent. It turns out you need a lot more glue than I was putting on. A lot of perseverance, and you need to be a little bit more brutal on the slide hammer, because that dent is all but come out. There's ever so slightly small crease there, but you can barely see it. So we're happy with that. That's good enough. Right, that's the Audi all finished. I've done the side light bulb, just a case of booking it for MOT and seeing if it fails on anything. But that's in the next episode.